Joined this evening on the Talk Back by a young man you probably saw on TV on Martin Luther King Day, Keon Pearson of St. Francis. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Today you were the keynote speaker there on Monday at the Unity celebration. What was that like?
That was less stressful than I thought it would be, actually.
Jeez,
when I got up there, I felt really confident that what I was saying was authentic, that it was a heartfelt speech, and I thought, if this is what I think, I can say it in front of 1,000 people, 2,000 people.
There you go. It's pretty easy. Now, he has an amazing story, not only being the valedictorian of St. Francis, first African-American valedictorian there as well, and he's headed to a small little school called Harvard next year. I've barely heard of it, but apparently it's a big deal.
It's a small podunk school in Massachusetts.
And you're majoring in molecular biology.
Yes, molecular biology. I want to be a cardiothoracic surgeon in 100 years or so.
Might take that long to get through medical school. You've accomplished so much so far in your young life. What's the key to doing so many things that you've done? Keeping focus, definitely. No matter what is going on around you, you always have to keep focus on the future. And I kind of live in the future at this point. So that and you're how old again? And I'm 17. 17, okay, all right. But I honestly do. I think in terms of the future all the time. And I really don't satisfy myself until I am where I want to be, or where I'm positioned to be, where I'd like to be in the future. Now, you just gave a great speech at the ceremony last week, and we actually have it posted on FoxToledo.com if you want to see it if you haven't seen it yet. One part really stood out to me, and I guess it never occurred to me, and I'm in the communications business. You were talking about taking mentees to an event and have them be around professional speaking. Is that why do you think? Why is that so important? Well, being offered to speak at an event like the Unity Celebration, I have to have a sense of grammar, simple communication skills, and I think that that's essential for anything that you want to do. In order to be successful, you have to have those communication skills. Now, do you find in your short 17 years that communication is something that young people these days are doing? With so much of the texting talk where you can say BRB and that apparently is a sentence. I think it's 3 letters. Yes, I think we are deficient sometimes in communicating exactly what we want to communicate. And so, being around people who are able to speak and being forced to speak or to say what you actually think is absolutely essential to succeeding. And so in something you're seeing right now, and it's interesting you're taking such an advocate role in things like that many kids might not even think about. BRB is just the way some people communicate, but you're taking the time to say, wait a minute, that's not going to work when even if you don't go to Harvard, even if you go to any school in the country, BRB is not going to cut it. Certainly. So what do you want? What kind of message were you trying to send to the crowd at Unity Day? I mean, what was the theme of what you were trying to get across? There was a twofold message, I think. One was for the adults, and what I really wanted to say was get active, get involved, be a mentor, because so much of my success is attributed to positive mentors in my life, starting from my parents, my grandparents, and even just almost random strangers who were like, well, I can help this kid out. Why don't I do that? And that has gotten me so far. The very fact that I'm going to Harvard, for example, Fletcher Word is the editor of the Sojourner's Truth. And he actually came up to me one day and said, Keon, have you ever thought about going to Harvard? And I was like, no, I hadn't actually. It never crossed my mind. I was thinking I was going to go to a smaller school on the West Coast. But he was an excellent mentor. He helped me to see myself in a bigger picture and to see myself in perhaps a brighter place than my second choice school. So, that kind of mentorship is absolutely essential, and I want to get that out to the adults. To the youth, it's a similar thing that I was talking about before, where we have to improve ourselves in order to, achieve our own goals. And, communication is part of that, being more focused on the futures. All right, well, we wish you the best of luck at Harvard next year, Keon. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. And that is your Talk Back.